Welcome everybody to week two of the Olympus Smite League. We are here with an Athens set between Royal Jesters and Flaming Tanukis. My name is Halanu, here with Hunter and with Penguin Pimp on the Spectate. You ready for some Smite, Hunter?
I'm ready, and it's an Athens game too. So these are the top dogs, the head honchos, the creme de la creme.
The creme de la creme, indeed. The org owners themselves getting it done on these games. As we hop into picks and bans right away, we see Kali, Bakasura, Kuzubo, Ravana, Marty, and Thor instantly gone. They do not want Burger Boy playing any of those AA assassins. Been the highest success point so far for him this season. Don't want anything to do with it. Take them both away right at the beginning.
Yeah, I kind of like that, right? Kind of ban away a hyper carry there. Don't want to give them like anything too overpowered in the jungle there. You know, both AA gods kind of I think dominating the meta right now, but you ban away those and you're gonna leave something nice up, and Hachiman is up and gets insta-locked. I was wondering how Hachiman was gonna do in this meta with the one getting nerfed in the most recent patch, but I still feel he just does more damage than almost any single AA hunter in the entire game right now. So I mean, I'm glad to see that they were able to get a very safe ADC there for Spirited Book.
Yeah, hard to box, has CC immunity in that ult, hard to kill as well. I mean, he's just, there's nothing Hachiman doesn't do. It's good objective presence as well, with that banner giving the attack speed. What I would like to see here from Jesters is, please do not give Emoticon Father Baba Yaga, which is currently what's might be happening. Is it's a tier hover and a Ratatosker lock-in. Ratatosker with that tier, I assume it is going to the jungle. How do you feel about Rat right now?
I've been seeing some tank Rat coming back in the meta, and it doesn't feel bad. It's very hard to kill. Oh, and hey, who needs to worry about Baba when you got the big Zhonger getting locked in there? But yeah, but like Rat, like, you know, I feel like Rat only excels in the tank metas, right? Whenever Rat has to be full damage, late game, they like the Rat just basically gets outscaled in terms of damage numbers. So Rat really thrives where it can build like that 1 or 2 defensive items, maybe even 3 in its build, and then able to, you know, with that 2 prot shred, just able to dump out a lot of damage while being a little tanky Rat.
Yeah, I agree. Loves that prot shred meta. Song Kui Achilles picked up. I mean, if you're drafting tier list, Tanuki's got top 3, potentially top 1, depending on who you ask, in every single role so far. Song Kui with those buffs to his passive, so tanky, so hard to kill. To get an X-Ball on the other side, another ADC that has seen a lot of play recently. Taking a look at bans now coming out, Yamoja and Ganesha taken away. Both teams do need their supports still. Still need a mid laner for Jesters here as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see Baba taken away, or potentially something like a Merlin that can actually kill that tanky Zonkui.
I think it's kind of criminal too that Yamoja made it to pick number 6 and then get locked in, instead going for the X ball there. Maybe you don't prio Rat in top 3, right? Because, you know, I don't really think anyone's banning a Rat, you know, in this
It is
current
it's a lot of emphasis on a pick that we don't see a whole lot. It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes.
And that thing was insta-lock too. It wasn't even like did we go Rat here, guys? Really? Did we top 2 Rat? It was like, all right, give me a Rat, like instantaneously. That's
I know Burger's been playing a lot of it in ranked, a lot of it in casuals, and he has been slamming on it. So I guess just a lot of trust in the pick right now. I don't know if they have scrimmed it, but a lot of trust in it. And with the Baka and the Kali gone, want to get Burger on something comfortable. You see Thoth banned out along with Eset. Eset's, I assume, a support ban here. Something we have seen come back a little bit just because of how good that ultimate is around the beacon, that new objective sitting in the mid lane. Baba did make it through along with Merlin, 2 things that I think Kenny is more than capable of playing. He's played a lot of that Merlin especially, so a little surprised that it gets through. It is going to be a Terra instead. Love that. I think perhaps a missed ban here for Tanukis. Terra ultimate is really good into Zonkui ult.
Yeah, that mitigations is gonna be really good to Jean. Even just being on a lock to Jean Kui down now is gonna be a lot easier. Like emoticon's gonna have to kind of be forced now into beads. I know I do see some Zhongs going like Blink Aegis and it's kind of saying I'm getting in there, I die, but I'm taking a life with me right now, right? But now with this Terra here, he's more than likely gonna have to go beads. I mean, into a tier, Jean Kui actually has a pretty, decent time. Jean Kui ults, hey, I'm not immune now. Good luck trying to do anything to me tier. But I mean, with this Terra now, Jean Kui's gonna be forced not to go Blink Aegis. Gonna probably go Blink Beats instead. Def move.
Yeah, I do imagine it'll be
So,
that blink beats. I mean, that's just kind of what Zong wants to do anyway. Zong's not putting up the consistent damage. Zong is blinking in and trying to one-shot you. Speaking of just blinking in there, getting in their comp, see a Kalina and an Ares getting hovered and both of them getting locked. That is a Yuki comp if I have ever seen one. The Ares for the cripple into the Terra, perhaps trying to dissuade a Merlin pick as well. What do you think Kenny's pulling out here in the mid lane?
I mean, surely you just kind of pick something that first of all has a CC immune ult. So Merlin definitely not into this type of comp. I mean, if you want to get blinked on by Jean Kui and get your beads costed into an Ares ult every time, go right ahead. More
Yep,
power to you. But maybe like a disco, right? Disco's just kind of sitting open. Baba Yaga is also kind of terrible in my opinion in a Jean Kui and even Achilles, right? Going to be able to execute through that shield. So Baba might not look the best into this comp. So I'm thinking maybe something like a disco, something like very safe that can maybe even like a Tiamat, right? Something that can dish out a lot of damage and also keep his distance while doing so.
Yeah, I agree. Disco, now that you mention it, a pick that has been pretty highly contested, both in OSL. We've seen a little bit in SPL as well, getting that lower cooldown along with Disco passive just being so good right now that the power on it not getting nerfed. So it's just a lot of power you're giving over to whoever gives that Disco passive, especially in the early game. Do you see Yu Huang covered though, another pick that's going to do the things that you talked about. It's safe. It has range damage. It has CC immunity. So in that sense, I mean, I think it checked all the boxes you were talking about here.
Yeah, it checked a couple boxes. But I have one big question. So in this meta, at least in my opinion, maybe I'm not the end all be all of the meta setters here, but I think it's whoever kills the tanks first wins, right? In this kind of meta. So it's either that or whoever just kills, the two squishies instantaneously wins, right? That's the only real way you can look at it. Whoever kills the tank first wins, or whoever kills your two backliners in 2 seconds wins the game, right? And when I'm looking at the side of RJ, they don't really excel at either. They don't really excel at killing squishies all too fast. I mean, Tier's going to be able to get in and be a nuisance, right? But he's more of a time buyer. And as I said, this rat more than likely will build more of a tankier build. So he's not going to be able to one-shot anybody. Whereas the side of the flaming Tanukis, they're get active and I'm just gonna blow up anybody in front of me type of style, right? And I feel like that's gonna be very hard for RJ to counter, especially with this Yu Hong pick, right? Yu Hong not known for doing a whole lot of damage to tanks, and when you got an Achilles running at you, it's gonna be very hard for him to be able to keep his 3 not on cooldown the entire game.
Yeah, I do think Yu Hong's a little bit slept on. I've been playing it a little bit recently. I know a couple other people I've been talking to have been trying to work Yu Huang back into the repertoire. He hits really hard. Like, kind of shockingly hard, if you ask me. That route into the 1, I mean, that 1, even against tanks, going to be chunking quite a bit. I do think he also benefits from the kind of Reaver E-Staff style builds that you've seen a lot of mid laners going for. It's very easy to just hit a portion of that 1, just hit like the corner of his 1 and get those ticks off, which is really, that's how you're killing tanks in this meta. Mages have been resorted to building Ethereal Staff to try and kill tanks. Please buff mages. But I do think Huang takes...
I don't know.
Mages are stuck right now, man.
Nah, dude. I think mages are in an actual okay stance right now. I mean,
they are, but please buff.
Their early game is actually not too bad. Their mid game feels horrendous once the defense starts stacking online because you don't have a lot of percent pen, you don't have the Soul Reaver finished yet. But then once you get the late game, you have your Karen's Corner, your Ob Shard, and your Rada Tahuti, and your Reaver, dude. You still chunk people, man. It's not.
You do,
It's still,
you do chunk once you get 6 items, but they like items
Yeah,
like
yeah,
3 to 5 feel horrible.
oh yeah, 1 to 2, you're like, dude, this meta hasn't changed at all. And then once you get to 3, you're like, what? Wait, what? Why am I hitting this tank for 200?
Yeah, they finish 1 item and you cannot kill them. Anyways, loading in here, taking a look at some of these starter items. Nothing too surprising. Is do see that war flag over on the Ares. I think that really complements the W key mentality with War Banner getting those heavy buffs.
Buffs. Yeah.
Yeah, how you feeling about the War Banner?
So I'm gonna compliment both supports here, right? I like what Hydra's doing. He understands the comp is I gotta run at you and I gotta kill you a bunch, right? So what better than to go an item that helps you close that distance, and it gives even your teammates some movement speed in there too. So just all around benefiting the team, able to run down the opponent. So I like that style. And then on the other side, I did see Terra and SPL get built with War Flag, right? I saw that on Genetics when they kind of got mopped up there by the Jade Dragons. But I like this, right? He understands. Oh, is this gonna get invaded and stolen?
It was invaded. Does not look like it was stolen, but Upgrade only could be in a lot of trouble here. The Horrific doing work compared to just the beads off the Terra. Speaking of which, Terra Bob beads is going to get out. I mean, I guess not wanting to play around having to keep those walls up to not get yoinked by the Ares. Burger Boy coming over just to make sure everything's okay. Could actually get a cheeky first blood if he's not spotted, but it does look like the Tanukis dual lane, or at least aware that the jungler's missing. Kenny not aware, going to get blinked on here and die in the mid lane. Is a blink from the Zhong gets him that first blood. Kenny not respecting the fact that his jungler went to the duo lane and he stepped up a little too far there.
Yeah, I guess he didn't get the memo there, right? They weren't on the same page there. Also, level 2 Yu Wong has to be like one of the worst times to ever want to step up. You don't have the 3 at all. It does die, but as I was saying, right? I like this more. I like that he's gonna go. Please, I hope it's compassion, right? That he's gonna end up going with here, and it's not gonna be heroism, because if it's heroism, I'm gonna cry. That item's terrible now. But I like that he understands. I'm just gonna need to be this backliner support, kind of eat a lot, like soak up a lot of damage and a lot of reflect. Speaking of soaking up damage, looking to soak up some damage onto this Ares, but the root combo off the mark there. I don't know if a chain maybe hit him. I think a chain might have hit him and CC'd him.
Yeah, I think chain came through here. Good chains from Hydra early. The Horrific's interesting. Does mean that, realistically you want an Alk or a Sunder versus Terra most of the time, but I think, obviously you want Blink on your Ares, but you also, in my opinion, when you're playing these kind of W key style comps, you really want that Bracer as well. I think Bracer is kind of underutilized relic right now with the amount of movement speed it gives to these W key style comps. You drop it for your Zhong Kui before he blinks, and all of a sudden he's just that much faster running at you. But with that said, gonna be some choices on. I mean, he has to go blink, right? Like, you can't play Ares in this comp without blink.
I was about to say, in this meta, man, there's just too much you want, dude, right? You want the Horrific because it's so good fighting early. It makes your Hunter basically do nothing in terms of damage. The attack speed slow, the damage outputs, like the damage output reduction. You want blink on gods like Ares just because that's the only way they can really get active and pull beads and get nice CC locked down with his ultimate. And then also, as we said, it's a tank meta, so you need Sunder to kill tanks, right? So there's 3 actives right there that I just named off the top of the dome piece that you just absolutely want. And guess what? You only got 2 slots, so he's gonna have to sacrifice one of them. I'm assuming he's gonna sacrifice the Sunder. Maybe Def Movement picks up a Sunder second, and then it is looking to blow up the tank.
I was thinking that too, but I feel like Movement wants Blink here as well. I mean, potentially could have done what Eon Eyes has done here, foregoing that TP to get the Blink. Will allow him to pick up potentially a Sunder of his own. I think he has seen a good amount of solo laners going for that Blink Sunder, foregoing the TP if they feel like they can. Obviously hurts your laning phase a little bit, but that late game impact can be pretty hefty with it. Looking at the mid lane, this Zhong Kui, first of all, building Warlock Staff. I love this item on Zhong Kui. right now. Not that I'm seeing anyone else though. Ratatosker ult coming over, going to hit Spirited Book. The cavalry charge is good. Just barely gets him out of dodge, but the blink in from Ratatosker going to be enough to pick up that kill. Now the Ares ult trying to pull some people back, does pull back. The Rat dies before that ult, and then the rotation from Kenny as well. It is a 3-for-0 kill in the dual lane, favoring the Royal Jesters.
The Ratatasker went huge, right? That's kind of the power of this early game. Rat is gonna do a lot of damage. Has a CC lockdown there. Saw him go up on to the branch there, dunking down, big CC combo. I mean, look, it was looking a little grim, right? We were seeing the Flaming Tanukis kind of show that dominance of that aggression out of them, and then next thing you know, the Royal Jesters like, hey, we can get a little aggressive too on our side.
Absolutely, and the downside here, this Zhonghui is a hefty level and a half ahead. Kenny making that rotation did pick up 2 assists for his troubles. Not gonna feel too bad, but I mean, this Zhonghui just sat and farmed, and he's a full level and a half up character that can just get out of hand if you let it get too far ahead. Gonna have to make sure Kenny is getting some farm here in the mid lane so he doesn't fall too far behind. Now Burger Boy taps, thinking about a blue buff invade. A little scream from the wall there from the Kleena, going to shut down any kind of invade ideas. Yeah, looks like everyone's gonna be okay with going back to farming for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think both mid laners just kind of want to get their builds online, right? You're not going to see a whole lot of fighting, maybe only, key fighting event when ultimates are up, right? You're gonna see this Ares trying to get active, get some ultimates off, get some beads, things of that nature. But both mid laners really just kind of want to farm, and especially when you're basically 2 levels down on this Yu Huang here, you definitely need to farm, because Yu Huang behind doesn't do damage. I mean, let's not talk about a Yu Huang that's even. Not doing that much damage. A Yu Huang behind is literally none.
Yeah, I do like the build choice here. Build that I've started to see more, and I do think it feels pretty good right now. Just getting that Karen's going first. Get your percent pen on nice and early. Get those stacks going. While the stacks don't matter the most, just getting that HP5, the MP5 early. And while, we talked about how it feels like tanks finish one item and you can't kill them, you get this Karen's going, that window of the amount of time your damage is still relevant to the tanks prolonged just a little bit. So do like that Karen's coin early. And it looks like Jesters looking for a purple or looking for a gold, maybe trying to leverage this Ratatasker pressure just a little bit more, but it is going to be just the prop buff over there. Rat may be looking for something in the mid lane, but I mean, that's Zhonghui's level 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Zhonghui is massive, and it's on the GOAT himself, a Motokan father, right? You don't want to let this guy get a lead. Oh, watch out though! Rat up into the air, looking to kill that Zhonghui.
They are taking this fight. Zong so tanky with those prots at 2 HP. Do they have enough damage? And they do. Burger Boy going to trade himself out. I think he is a-okay for that. Over in the dual lane, looked like Upgrade trying to take a 1v1 as well. And now Jehu running away from the flames. Bit of a sloppy fight in the mid lane, but at the end of the day, this Zhonghui is set down by the Ratatasker. And while not a shutdown by its own right, it is a shutdown in the sense that he was 2 levels ahead of the Rat, so should have gotten a lot of bonus XP for that. It does, however, mean that the Rat gets shut down, but still going to maintain that level lead over the Kleena, who was the one that received that kill.
Yeah, I think we just kind of hit him with the old NFL kicker curse there, where we said, oh, this kicker hasn't missed in his last 30 kicks. This guy is looking like a machine out there, and then instantly misses. We're talking about Motokan, level 10, this guy, there's no way he's going to be able to die, and then instantly just gets dove on by Burger Boy here and instantly dies. Yeah, a little bit of a curse there on our end, but I mean, hey, that makes the game that much closer. I like that.
He's still level up, man. He's fine.
Yeah. He's still chilling. But I mean, also, both supports, kind of flexing into the same thing there with those themes, right? I have been seeing oddly enough, I've been seeing some people just kind of negate going any stacking item really, because there's just so much fighting in these like early exchanges, as you saw there around those mid camps there, and just kind of rush into like a spirit robe, right? Get a little bit of cooldown, get some more prots, and get that passive on CC for damage mitigations. Kind of interesting to see both of them stacking, but I mean, maybe it's just the norm and I'm crazy.
I think Thieves is, from what I've seen, is still kind of a must-buy type of item. They didn't nerf Thieves passive with this overhaul change to everything using power, everything using prots. So Thieves is just a kind of ridiculous item considering that fact that it didn't get nerfed when every other item got nerfed and it was already being built every game. So I think you do see a lot of that. It looks like it's gonna be a Pridwin coming up in that second item slot for Jehu. Talk about an item that's seen a spike in popularity. Those glyphs are pretty good, eh?
Yeah. The glyphs are really good for solo laners. I mean, some supports, they feel pretty nice with the glyphs. I don't know how Terra is going to feel with it, right? Because the Pridwin isn't going to pop until after the ult is completed, right? So you have to wait for...
a long time.
Yeah, you got to wait. I mean, mainly he's just going it for the cooldown, right? He just wants that 20% cooldown so he can spam abilities in these team fights. Team fights now are much longer, much more winded, right? So you're starting to see these builds come back where supports are prioritizing less just here, have 300 prots mid laner for no reason. Instead they're going for I need a little bit of cooldown for myself here so I can keep you alive even longer. So I mean, pretty standard pickup here for this support. I don't know what he's gonna upgrade it to. I feel like both are pretty terrible for the Terra. But I mean,
potentially could just not upgrade it. And we've talked, touching on. There's so many glyphs right now that feel like they're kind of cool on these supports. We've seen a lot of the relic dagger glyphs coming back in. Seen the Pridwin glyphs, obviously. I mean, even some supports going. I've seen some like breastplate glyphs, like the silent breastplate glyph I've seen a few times recently on supports, which is kind of, it was going hard. Is it troll? Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna see it today. I hope not. But the Ares ult coming out, Jehu is going to beat and ult. A big commitment in response to that Ares ult. Surprised to see both of them come out there. That's a lot of resources down from this Terra. Could open up a Gold Fury or a Pyromancer for the Tanukis. I mean, that's a lot of resources to use for an Ares ult.
Yeah, beads and ultimate, but it's not even that. The beacon spawning, that's the more. That's the more crucial thing.
Terra ult now.
Now you don't have Terra ult for this, and that's massive. Emoticon is going to be able to just blink in ult, as I said, right? It did go that beads and blink. I mean. Surely Emoticon is licking his lips right now. He's like, please get into this tiny corridor for me to just go crazy on. Yeah,
it will be interesting to see if Jesters step up. Instead, it is over to Spirited Book. The course is good. Looks like Ratatosker is going to extend the blink there and get a kill. The beacon is available to capture, and somehow it is Jesters controlling this pit, and Emoticon Father has not found his way in yet. Does still have that blink and the beads, perhaps trying to line up that perfect engage. Now control of the pit is going to go over to Tanukis. The Xeno to tear the veil. Of zoning here. Ioni's getting low, could be executed, is executed, and that should be it for this first beacon going the way of Tanukis.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what happened, right? Like, Emoticon just kind of ulted, did an insane amount of poke, insane amount of damage on both of the backliners, even the jungler there a little bit too. I actually like that engagement. I thought that was perfect, right? They ganked duo right as the beacon was spawning, got a kill in a Spirited Book. I thought, okay, now Upgrade's gonna rotate over, but he just never came to the beacon, and instead they sacked it. I mean, I guess he did leech a lot of farm, right? He got to steal his back camps, got to invade that purple, or didn't even actually. Never mind, he didn't even invade the purple buff. I thought he did invade. Did he just back?
Yeah, I think he just backed, which not a big fan of. Really wish he had gone and invaded everything. He was pretty low after that engagement, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I liked the play to gank before the beacon, get that going, and even if you don't rotate him over, you take so much farm on the rest of the map that potentially make up for the fact that you didn't get that beacon. But instead, I believe he did just back there. I mean, Book's still even with him. If anything, he's a little half level ahead, perhaps. So I do like sending resources over towards the Tajimon. They've done a good job of ganking him, but there's not really too much to show for it right now for Jesters. I mean, upgrade's the same level.
Yeah, I mean, same level, and then on top of, or actually, he's down a level now, and then on top of that too. I mean, this gold difference is still on the side of the Tanukis, even though the Royal Jesters are up in kills. That just kind of goes to show you, right? Like it's more about map play in this early game, right? Those mid camp spawning every 1 minute is very crucial. Those mid camp spawning every 1 minute is very crucial in terms of farm, and if you're not playing for those, you're gonna get behind, even if you have a massive kill lead.
Yuki's indicating that they would like to do 1 gold fury, please. Sending emoticon father over there. Kenny getting a chance to maybe take a breather mid lane, get some farm. Moji going to come back. Don't think it's going to get too aggressive here. Perhaps actually the opposite. But not a whole lot of poke coming out. I mean, it did. It did. I'm not entirely sure he hit the center. I think he hit the corner.
Okay, I was gonna say, man, we might need to talk about you, this god being slept on if you're hitting a mid mage with no tank items for 50.
Okay, so he has no tank items, but he has warlocks and he has 100 procs because of his passive. That man's a solo laner in the mid lane.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he's got the Karen's going, man. He shreds through 20%. Oh, Rattle.
Yeah. Rattle gets the early Hachiman. All Spirited Book has had enough of this, is just ulting immediately, and correctly so does live. Holds onto his relics, just using that ultimate. Gold Fairy is still up. Neither team looking like they're too eager to force this. As we get going into the late game, which team comp do you favor if this continues the kind of sluggish pace that we've had so far?
I think the Flaming Tanukis just kind of just have like a more easy understanding of what they want to do. It's I'm pressing W and I'm getting active, and then they put Spirited Book on a super safe hunter, right? So if he needs to be able to ult in to help dive, he can easily do that. Get on that horse, get whatever his ultimate's called. I'm just gonna call it Cavalry Charge because it sounds funny to say it like that.
I think it is.
Is it?
And I've called it that already this cast, so I'm hoping you're right.
So he'll Cavalry Charge in, or even if he needs to just buy enough time, right? Really delay Eon's dive onto him. He can just Cavalry Charge right back on out and then dash back in if need be, right? So the flexibility of what this Hachiman can do, can get active, can be passive, almost kind of like a better Rama almost, right? Where Rama has to be stationary, goes up into the air, does buy about 6 or so seconds of time, but basically has that kind of same style as Rama, maybe a little bit better. So I really like their comp. I think it's very understanding, right? 4 people are gonna run at you, and then 1 guy's just gonna buy as much time as he can to do as much damage in the backline as he can.
Absolutely. Speaking of wanting to get active, Eon has upgraded his blink to T2 to get that cooldown off, and has Relic Dagger. That man's blinking every 60 seconds. A great dueling dragons coming out of Kenny there is going to connect. Now the Ares ult doesn't find a whole lot. Kenny forced a retreat. Could actually be Eon is in trouble, and he gets executed by this Achilles, and now the chase is on. Execute this ×2 gets blocked out there. Well done, but mid tower not going to fall. No wave, but perhaps a gold fury going to get opened here. Health bars on the side of Jesters very, very low. Burger Boy down at a quarter. Kenny at 10%. Gold fury just going to be Jehu, who's here to contest. Upgrade making his way in now. Could make some noise here. They don't have that Darkest of Nights, and Tanukis is just going to pick up the Gold Fury. No Pyromancer returned, just a clean Gold Fury for the side of Tanukis.
Yeah, that's got to be that's got to feel terrible to Dueling Dragon, the mid laner, and then you also hit him with your combo. Then Rat goes up onto the tree branches, dunks down on him. You get a Terra ult too, and all of that, and you don't even get him below half HP.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. Fact checking here while we're between fights. Yuhong is Dueling Dragon. I was doubting myself. Got that one right. We missed the Hachiman. Okay. Yeah, it's mounted archery. Gotta keep that in the pocket. Beacon respawning here. Tanukis taking control of this. It is just one lonely Jehu trying to slow this down, eating a lot of his HP as a result. Kenny trying to get in there and help him. That clean ult, cutting off that corridor, not something I'd seen a whole lot of, but now the fight breaking out, Darkest of Nights coming through, Ratatosker going to the air, and Monocon Father is very low, does fall down here, could be a good fight for Jesters. Upgrade picks up Hydra as well, and the Jesters lose the beacon, but win the fight. Now the question is, what can they get after the fight here?
I mean, hey, a little consolation prize. The Pyromancer here, but they are relatively low. This rat can die here. He's got to be very mindful. Might look for a steal, but the CC comes through, and the Jesters, they get a little bit of a consolation prize there with the Pyromancer. Right? The Jesters, did the Jesters lose the beacon, or did they get the beacon?
They lost the beacon. The beacon was confirmed by Tanukis, so it is
okay.
2 beacons going to that Tanuki squad. It's a lot of extra structure damage. For those of you that don't read patch notes, which is most of you, let's be real here, who reads patch notes, we all prefer to just be yelled at and then eventually figure it out. The beacons give 1% movement speed per one captured, and they give 5% additional damage to structures. And that's the big one. So you've now got like super primal fury. You're doing 10% more damage to all structures for the rest of the game. And that movement speed, especially with a W key comp, 2% is nothing crazy, but you notice it.
Oh yeah. The 2% adds up, right? 2%, and then you get another 2%. So now you're
it's 1% each, so it's 2% total right now. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was is it 1% structure and movement speed? I know it's 1% movement speed.
It's 1% movement speed. It's 5% structure damage.
Yeah.
So they're doing 10% extra structure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, I think the beacons are a very like crucial thing you need to play over, and that's why I think teams that like have those better like mid fights. Speaking of mid fights going on, here is a mid. Oh my goodness, the rat a little bit off the mark there. Emoticon ulting just to get some prots as he runs away, but again, still not going below half HP. Rat force the beads. Achilles rotating over, but nothing in return there. So a little bit of ult for ults and actives for actives getting traded.
Yeah, active getting traded. Mid tower looks like it's going to fall down here. That Zonk just tanky, man. Also, I think pre-ulting there for that little bit of knock-up immunity if that rat ult had connected. Excuse me, a little bit off the mark there. Gold Fury respawning here shortly. Jesters look like they might be posturing for it. A lot of ults were used there on both sides. I just noticed Kenny went E-Staff third item. Interestingly, early on the E-Staff, usually see Reaver picked up before the E-Staff. I've been seeing E-Staff more of that like 6th item type of pickup. Kenny wants that survivability, wants that tank shred, and now it looks like Hydra could be in a little bit of trouble here. They're not going to chase him out too far. Does lose half of his HP though. Going with that aura style build that we haven't really seen a lot of. Cleaner damage through the wall. Just so annoying. I really wish this character would finally fall out of the meta. I'm not gonna say she's meta right now, but she's not bad.
Yeah, she's okay. I don't know. She was kind of out of the meta for a little bit there. They did end up buffing her, you know, making her passive to be able to go into the wall even smaller now, so she can be even more annoying, just kind of sitting in there getting free poke. It's never fun to be able to take damage and not be able to do anything about it, right?
Absolutely. It's the blink in from Eon. Already has that fire blink, and it is doing damage. Dueling Dragons. Looks like it was a little bit off the mark, but Hydra does fall down here. Zonkui could be the next one up. The Ratatasker ult dives and has to immediately jump his way back out. Beacon not quite up yet, indicates that it has about 2 minutes left to go. TP back in for move, and they do not want to give up this Gold Fury for free despite losing their support.
I think this Gold Fury will also to kind of determine who gets this beacon, right? Because if you're gonna fight around this beacon after this Gold Fury falls, you're gonna lose a tower or two, right? Those Oni waves are gonna be able to push in, but they don't need to worry about this Gold Fury because the fight's breaking out on the backside. HP pulls are low for the side of the Tanukis, but a 1-for-1 trade on the back end. But now they're forced to run away as their cooldowns are down.
Cooldowns are used. Health bars pretty low on the side of Jesters, but not super healthy on Tanukis. Half HP on a lot of members here. Hydra has managed to respawn and make his way back in. Frontliners traded out there. And it looks like Tanukis aren't confident enough to do that Gold Fury. Decide they're going to go to the Pyromancer instead, prioritizing that Runic Bomb, using that cleanup red on the objective is going to be a Pyromancer. They use the resources there. Do Jesters realize what was used, and do they go for this Gold Fury? Judging by the fact that Kenny is backing and Tears on the right side of the map, gonna go with no.
Yeah, no, I mean, also, Cleo has another ult already, right? So you know, you forgot that she is the double trouble, right? So she used one ultimate there, so nothing too crazily used on the side of her. And what 30% cooldown on the side of that Cleo. So the next whatever it's called, the unveil, something veil. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, not Pierce the Veil, not the band. I've called it that on cast way too many times.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna call it. So yeah, good job, you stopped me there. Yeah, I mean, I think I like what their Jesters are doing here. It looks like they maybe were thinking about sacking the beacon, and then as I said, they're gonna run straight over here. But I think they're gonna maybe play for the Oni.
Yeah, realize that the beacon exists is a 4-man grouping here. Looks like Soulin are on their way as well. Should be just a full-on 5v5. Darkest of Nights going out. Looks like the Zon Kui was the target. Got through about 2/3 of his HP there. Does still have that ultimate from the Zon Kui. A bit of a reset here. Eon does have that blink up again. That relic dagger and the fully upgraded blink already. He is blinking often. Now, Gold Fury going to be the next course of fighting here.
Yeah, I mean, also, I mean, looking at that relic dagger, right? He upgraded it to, I believe that's the one where after you ult, you get more prots, right? So doesn't really care that he doesn't seem as tanky right now, right? Because look, increase 15% prots, right? So he's kind of going, all right, I'm gonna ult in, I'm gonna blink in, so I'm gonna still be as tanky as if I didn't go, like if I didn't fully upgrade my blink here and go into this relic dagger glyph. I actually like that.
Absolutely. Ratatosker ult coming through, Dueling Dragons as well as ENS takes out Hydra. This Ares has been the target in these fights, and now Burger Boy going into the backline. Eon as well doing work in this backline, though. Depth moving able to trade around some kills onto Jehu and onto upgrade only. Squishy is going to fall to Eon in the back. Health bars very low on both sides. Kenny and Burger Boy so low, along with Eon all 1 HP. Kenny should be falling down here too. Move and the shield bash is good. A 3 for 2 favoring Tanukis, and now these Titans are in mid, and while they're not healthy, having enough HP, they're gonna be able to take out this Titan and get a little bit push going here for the Tanukis.
See, this is the issue I had with the Jester squad, right? This Achilles, he's late game now, and who's killing him, right? It isn't the tank rat. You know, the Terror is gonna have a very hard time locking him down. Yeah, the Terror does have that root and the stun, but the root does not matter when you have a dash, right? So this Achilles is going to be very hard to lock down and kill, right? As you saw there, didn't even lose a third of his HP, was able to basically almost kill both of the backliners by himself there. And now Gold Fury gonna get claimed by the Flaming Tanukis. No one on the Jesters even close to get there in time. I mean, every time you think the Jesters are about to do something really good that's going to turn the tides of it, then you just see Def Movement come in. It's like, yeah, psych. And then just like execute someone, get a kill or two. I mean, Def Movement is doing exactly what he should be doing in this game, creating massive amount of space and killing people. And right as I say that, then he goes and trolls a little bit, right? So see, Caster's curse yet again.
Yeah, we just gotta stop complimenting people. Surely we just tell them they're all horrible, and then people pop off, and we have a great cast. It does get the ultimate forced away. Did use the blink from Eon as well, so not all doom and gloom. Pyromancer going to fall down here as well. Eon winging a bit with the wall breakers, but it looks cool, man.
Yeah, we weren't gonna talk about. He was going for his Deathwalker moment there, and he fell like, you know, probably like 10 feet short.
No, A for effort. We admire the attempts. Does have a fair amount of CDRs built up. Going to have that up sooner rather than later. Someone who doesn't have CDR though, and it's a little surprising to me, this Ares with only 10% CDR. I mean, I know you want auras because of his passive. I know, but like 10% CDR or Ares can't feel great. They can't feel great. Squishy doing a lot of damage from the wall is going to die from Motokater. Father is able to return one onto Jehu. Kenny gets a kill onto Move, and finally somebody stops his Achilles, but who is going to stop Spirited Book? Upgrade only, just doing it to him. Gets one back, probably saves this fight. Emoticon trades for Kenny, and is a 4-for-2 fight favoring the Royal Jesters. Hydra running for his life. Upgrade trying to lifesteal off that wave so you can maybe think about diving. Now, if you're Jesters, do you try and pull fire here, or do you... Looks like they are going to try and pull fire.
Oh yeah,
I think they need to back. I mean, Eon's healthy, but I mean, if Ares chains some Burger Boy here, could get a little dicey.
Yeah, but Burger Boy does have the stun, and they can just instantly turn on him and kill this Ares. But yeah, nope, never mind. They just got scared and ran away. I mean, that's probably the smart choice.
I don't think they can do that. Fire Giant is so tanky right now. Something that some people have been complaining about is that Fire Giant protections did not get reduced when all of the power in the game got reduced.
And their damage didn't get reduced either. So it's the same amount of damage coming at you while you're doing less damage and you're less tanking it. So it's just all around not a fun experience for people right now, which I don't know. I don't really mind it because it almost seems like you gotta win team fights before you can pull. You can't just really hop on it and go, all right, we're gonna 50-50 this now, because you will lose the fight right after. It almost forces you to have to team fight, which I feel like that's what they're aiming for in this meta, right? With everything that was added to this meta, it's I want people fighting as much as they can, and I feel like they did a good job of making that happen.
They did encourage fighting. I do like that aspect. I do also think that's part of where the beacon, it's really important. It does also, it's extra damage to the objectives as well, so it does help with your Fire Giant burn quite a bit. Both clean ults committed there. There's a good amount of poke on to upgrade, but doesn't force any relics out. They were down to begin with. Perhaps makes that space that they needed. As we talked about, this Fire Giant is not going down quickly. Jesters are showing face. Good push there from Neonite is doing a lot of damage. The Rattusker is up, the Terra ult is good, Hydra is getting burned. Kenny finally able to get that kill onto Hydra, and now it looks like the Zone Queen could be in trouble as well. Squishy able to find Burger Boy in the back, but Emoticon Father is gone as well. Outbars still looking pretty good on the side of Jesters. In the back here, moving, trying to make a hero play, but Eonize does not want to let them go. Upgrade, dashing in aggressively, wants this fight versus Spirited Book and gets it. Eonize gets credit for that one. And finally, that should be EFG for the Jesters.
Yeah, first FG of the game at 31 minutes. You know, you gotta love to see it, but
no way Mufin stops this. Surely.
Yeah, surely he dies here, right? I mean, they don't have Sunder though for him, so maybe not. Nah, I think
he's still Sunder. They forced ult defensively. It's good. He's gonna walk back in, trying to buy time. It's just Hydra that's respawned, his fellow frontliner. No damage is on its way, but he is making things messy here for Jesters. I love what he is doing, just cluttering comms, making them panic. And he is sticking around. Fire Giant getting very low. They do confirm it. Well done by the Jesters, able to confirm that. They're thinking about chasing out, realizing it is literally just their front line.
Okay,
to think better of it.
So before we went on like a 2-minute long team fight there, you're talking about Hydra only having 10% cooldown, right? Yes, I also agree, right? I think you want to just be able to get this. Terra doesn't have bubble, right? So you want to be able to just spam blink ult and just get this Terra beads and then kill her the next time you can, right? You have the backline that can easily, I mean, you don't really have the backline that can kill her, right? Because Emoticon isn't looking to kill a support at all. It's more Spirited Book, right? It's just gonna be easy lockdown for that. Into Squishy, maybe be able to ult too. I mean, surely you want more cooldown on an Ares, but opting more for that aura type of build maybe wants to give those prots, so when Emoji Daddy does die, and ult isn't even tankier than what he already is. But I mean, I like what the Royal Jesters are doing. I think these sunders from Jehu are going unnoticed, right? He has been sundering people perfectly, no setup at all, just sundering them, hitting them. I think he hit a 2 or 3 man sunder in that last team fight there to just cause massive damage to most of the tanks, and that's why Hydra instantly died.
Yeah, I do love this Sunder out. Finally getting that upgraded starter. Was wondering when that was going to come through for the Ares. Are we able to take a look at the damage numbers, Mr. Penguin? I would love to see what exactly has been going on here. Is the Zone Kui at the top? I mean, you know, a little bit of a quiet stat line, 3, 4, and 7. The kill participation very high, but the damage is coming through. Taking a look, is Depth Movement next on that list? I mean, damage overall for Tanukis is just higher across the board, but I mean, just better target selection. I mean, and he said that Sunder, I do think, is doing good work. I think you hit the nail right on the head there. Is the TT getting sieged here slowly but surely? A good Ares ult going to force out a lot of defensive options there, but now Hydra in a lot of trouble. Jehu very low as well. So many low health bars across this fight. Squishy is able to kill Ionize, takes out Burger Boy as well with the help of Emoticon Father. Squishy and Hydra fall for it as well, but that is that defense for Tanukis, perhaps even better than that, as they are chasing out here. Kenny, the furthest one forward, does not have as much mobility as the rest of his teammates. Going to look for the execute. The Aegis comes out, should be good. Kenny ups down, doesn't quite get the 3. Emoticon Father picks up 1 of Spirited Book, gets another, and that could just be game here. But I mean, health bars are so low.
No, they can't. Do they have a ward? Okay, they do have a ward. So maybe Achilles is gonna be able to TP back in. Is gonna be able to tank. So they at least get a bird here, right? I don't know if they can. Eon's about to be back up in 14 seconds. I don't even think they get a bird off of this. Eon's about to be back up in 10 seconds. Rat in 15. I mean, surely if this support just kind of sits in front of Spirited Book, yeah, see, they're just gonna back up here. I mean, yeah. Terra, we might need to do a flash replay there, because Terra has beads now, but decided not to beads the Ares ult, if that's the case,
a little questionable.
Yeah, and then also ulted after getting pulled, so took a bunch of damage that could have been mitigated. So, you know, a little bit questionable on the side of the Terra, but hey, I mean, you gotta take it. You gotta take what they give you, right? Good pull in there by Hydra, able to actually pull in 2, I think, onto that team fight. I thought Rat was gonna clean up way more on that backside, but instantly got erased by Emoticon Father. And then again, Def Muffin. Just, if you don't sunder him, he's not dying in these team fights, right? And Terra took a lot of poke early, wasn't really able to focus on Def Muffin, and I mean, that's what happens, right? Def Movement got sundered in the last team fight. Flaming Tanukis lost. Def Movement doesn't get sundered, they win. Coincidence? I think not.
Coincidence? Surely not. You look at the Rat Tasker build, is really a pure tank build. Does have that Bumbo's Hammer. Something we've started to see come back a little bit. These tank junglers wanting that just for the true damage on that item. I mean, really just the Brawler's Beat Stick there for damage out of the Rat. I mean, Archdruids, if you want to call that damage, sure. It technically does some damage for you, but that's a tank item. On the other hand, is full damage out of this cleanup. I mean, not that we'd expect anything else, but even committing to the Erendite, just wanting as much power as they possibly can in this build. Same thing with the Zone Kui, that Sacrificial Shroud got full and going to be absolutely slapping. And everybody full build as we get into these late game fights. Going to be another EFG as it spawns in. And Pyromancer is stolen away by Tanukis. Yeah, probably not the biggest deal, but could start to matter here as you get late sieges. Blink in from Eonize, though, trying to get the party started. Dueling Dragons doesn't find much, but the Darkest of Nights is out. They are trying to force this fight and don't find much. 2 ultimates and a blink used for Jesters. Everything held on to. Got the beads out of Emoticon. Actually does look like they were able to strip beads off of Spirited Book as well, so actually maybe not as bad of an engage by Jesters as it initially looked.
Yeah. Also, Ionize with that Relic Dagger is gonna have his ult back up or is gonna have his blink back up in 40 seconds now. I mean, just 20 seconds ago, you called the blink, right? So that's how quickly that kind of is. Odd that the Flaming Tanukis are looking to pull here. I mean, I guess they see that Rat is pretty low in the mid lane, but with 5 there, this has to be a bait. They're gonna have to be looking to take this fight.
Yeah, Fire Giant. I mean, Hydra just took half his HP from Fire Giant. Yeah, looking for the blink. Hydra ult only Eonized. Eonized just soloing the tank here in the backline. Big Terra's blessing coming through here. Upgrade only is the first one to fall. The health bars on the side of Tanukis are not looking great. Into the backline, it is Dep moving because of course it's Dep moving. No ADC left to kill him. Looks like everybody else going to be okay. So many low health bars here. Squishy had to reset. Moving in the red. You look at Kenny and Burger Boy, same thing. Kenny able to get that back off. Now, gonna be another regroup and dance around Fire Giant. See, this is where I don't love how tanky Fire Giant is. If you don't cleanly win a fight, I mean, they killed Upgrade. Like, Upgrade died. Nothing is going to happen.
No, they can pull this. They got 25 seconds to work with. I mean, if they don't pull this, they're trolling, right?
They're gonna pull it, but I mean, we'll see how Jesters play this. I really do think they can still contest this. We will have to see how they want to play it, especially if Emoticon Father decides he wants to frontline the defense. Is going to drop back into that Fire Giant pit. Good poke there onto movement. Yeah, we were doubting the damage from the U-Hog. I mean, that's a quarter HP off of just a singular one. Not feeling too bad, though. Squishy doing more than a quarter HP to Kenny through that wall. Such a difficult passive to play around. And see, Fire Giant's been dropped. We're back at square one. Ooh, Terra's Blessing forced out there, though. Maybe a bit of a panic ult there coming out from Jehu. The Twin Dragons used as well. 2 big ultimates. Burger Boy is on a split pushing mission of putting some pressure onto this team to pull and finish this Fire Giant. Darkest of Nights comes out. That makes a full back, and his step movement that has gone back to stop Burger Boy. Where is this going to finally break?
I guess we're gonna have to wait for a team fight or something. Troll as Hydra stepping up by himself and getting his beads or getting his ult and his life taken here. Okay, there you go. That's the turning point, right? Surely now the Royal Jesters are gonna show them how to pull it, as they're also going to claim the life of a Emoticon Father.
Emoticon Father does fall down, does take Burger Boy with him, but Jester's now surging forward. The execute from Mufin does not find its target, but Squishy does find Kenny in the back. Health bars are low again. Upgrade only fighting for his life. Does fall down to Spirited Books, but Eonize gets one back. Can Eonize turn this around by himself? Jehu is just backing, cancels it out, gets spotted out there. All of the backliners dead here. He is just Squishy alive. I mean, I think it's gonna be another reset.
Dude, can I just say, dude, Squishy needs to be locked up, dude. He has stolen hours of my life casting games that he is in. I thought last season the reason why the games are so chaotic, it had to have been It's Hunter's fault. Nah, I'm blaming Squishy.
Mama Spaghetti, of course.
It had to have been Mama Spaghetti. Mama Spaghetti is just a known man of activity, right? No, it's Squishy's
man of activity.
Yeah. That's the nice
That's one way to put it.
Now I know it's Squishy, right? These fights are so chaotic. How do the Royal Jesters kill 2 people and then lose a 3v5? Huh?
Mufin and Squishy got into the backline, did their job. Kenny's relics were still down there. Well, did get upgrades relics, which is a big deal. Going to have those relics for another 2 minutes here. Looking at relics on the side of Tanukis, missing an Aegis off of Spirited Book and a beads off of Squishy, but besides that, good to go. Dude, they can't even confirm Pyromancer over each other right now. Just a push and pull.
Yeah, I think both teams are scared at this point. Not scared, but like they're hesitant on taking any massive amount of pokes or risks because they understand whoever gets this Fire Giant and whoever wipes, it's game over for that team, right? So both teams just plan on playing a little more passive, right? Don't want to like sack anything, as we just see Dueling Dragons get wasted.
I don't mind that play from Kenny at all. You're sitting at 45 minutes. If he pulls somebody in there, even if he gets relics. Speaking of getting relics, Emoticon Father trying to get some more than just relics. Burger Boy turns around, gets the stun.
He was slow.
does kill off the emoticon father. Probably a worthwhile trade, trading your early game jungler for the late game Zhongli. What is not worth is losing upgrade only. No relics were available. Kenny looks like he's going to be next. Can the front line of Jesters hold on and get out here? Good walls from Jehu buying him a time. Now it's just Eon running for his life. Going to just get harassed by Depp move in here, not going to be allowed to back. 30 seconds on Burger Boy.
That's
game. Game.
That's game. Yeah. That is the ball game. He's not gonna let Eon back. That's how it ends. What? Huh? No wait, did not a single FG? No, one FG win this game, right? Yeah, one. In a 44-minute game, one Fire Giant fell. One Fire Giant fell, and they instantly do the next fight after getting Fire Giant. Okay, that's the ball game.
Yeah, one FG, the defense on tier 2 and duo. That was it.
That's criminal.
It's too hard to do, man. You take too much damage. Especially with ADCs building Pen, which I like is the better build. Like, I don't blame them for building Pen. But you without crit, with that beefy Fire Giant, it's just not possible, man. It's just not.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that last fight too, both of the tanks, for whatever reason, were trying to contest Pyro still, while Squishy and Def Woof were like, okay, cool, we'll just kill your backliners. I don't really know what was going on with the disconnect there either. I think if Terra was back there, able to, maybe use that mitigation ultimate, on her teammates, and then also able to sunder those tanks, maybe that fight goes a little bit different for the side of the Jesters. But I mean, hey, I don't know how the Flaming Tanukis keep doing it. Chaotic fighting, odd fighting, but they always seem to get out with a victory. 1-0 to the Tanukis.
Absolutely. We're going to jump to a quick break here. We'll be back in just a few minutes with game 2 of the set. See if Royal Jesters can bring it back or if they're going to get swept.
We're live.
Welcome back, everybody, to game 2 between the Royal Jesters and the Flaming Tanukis. Athens division. It is myself, Halanu, along with Hunter, Big Malls, and Penguin Pimp on the spectate. How do you think the Jesters are feeling after that game 1, 50-minute slog of a game?
Yeah, I think they're wondering why they decided not to play as a cohesive team in that last team fight. Kind of spread out there. Both of the backliners kind of in mid 2v2ing the dive of the Flaming Tanukis. I mean, just it almost seemed like both teams in that game were like, oh, you trolled? Well, here, we'll kind of troll back for you and give you the advantage. Now we're trolling, give you the advantage, right? It was almost one of those more back and forth type of things going on every single kind of team fight. And then guess what happens? Just like I said, the second one team fight ends in a basic team wipe. That's going to be the end of this game, right? It didn't happen over EFG. It instead happened over a Pyromancer. And then that ended the game for the Flaming Tanukis. If I'm RJ this game, I'm going, okay. That they were fighting very sloppily, and we can take advantage of that. Let's get some nice easy CC going on, and let's get 2 tank shredders on our backline, right? You were saying earlier, he has the Merlin in the bag. I would like to maybe see that Merlin locked in. I would like to see maybe the ADC go. I mean, X-Ball's good. It does shred tanks, but maybe something else. Maybe a little upgrade only special. Maybe we see like a Hoi Yi or something, man.
Who you could see. I mean, Artemis got big buffs. I know Upgrade is a fan of that character. It's still, it's a risky pick, but he could.
Even on her.
Yeah, we've seen on her getting played at all levels right now. I think this kind of snuck its way back into the meta. I do think as well, I think the Ratatosker did most of what you wanted it to do, where provided that early pressure. They had some really good, that fight over in duo very early on, where they pick up 3 kills, some good initiations. It is a pick that even with that tanky build, it does just fall off in the late game. So I think if you're going to go back to that Ratatusker, gotta try and push the pace just a little bit more. You did have a Terra to try and make up for your late game presence, but Kleina's just going to be a better jungler than Ratatosker in the late game most of the time. So, would like to see Jesters push the pace a little bit more if they do want to run back that Ratatosker.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if you don't aim for the Ratatasker, right? Like at least, or even if you aim for the Ratatasker again, at least have something else in your comp that you're playing for, right? Because the Rat did dominate early, like you said, and was doing pretty well in the late game, in the mid game, and then late game. You know, just kind of what happens with tanks now, right? They kind of get CC'd and just blown up if they're by themselves and get sundered, right? So, I mean, you definitely want them to have another god in their arsenal that they're going to draft here that they're going to play for. So if anything, when it transitions into the late game, Rat isn't sitting here wondering like, "Hey, we got the late game. Where's my hyper carries at?"
Where's my carries at? Yeah. So Duhong, I think, looked okay. Would like to see, whether it's a Merlin. I mean, we saw the Thoth band way in the second phase, but another character that Kenny's been liking quite a bit is going to be the Terra taken away along with the Baka and the Kali. Going to see Marty, Thor, and Ravana on the other side, and nothing too surprising is going to be that Terra band, though.
Achilles.
And Depp moving absolutely feeling himself on the Achilles. Top pick, run it back.
Yeah, just insta locked it in now. But look, it wasn't the Achilles that was fragging, right? It was just a team comp, I believe, of the Jesters,
I
right?
mean, the Achilles was fragging,
I
man.
think the Achilles was right. I'll give him his props. I'll give him his props. See, I was
50K or some nonsense.
that's
I love
that,
this.
I don't mind this and the Hachiman, right? So I don't mind this, right? Is it now the real question I always wonder is it gonna go support or is it gonna go solo? I honestly think it can go either or. I've been seeing it a lot in support because then basically you just go triple dive and then your backliners are just basically like, all right, go two very safe backliners and all right, fend for yourselves now, guys. Uh I mean, it could even flex over into solo. I definitely could see ENI's playing this too, but who knows?
Yeah, it is a lot of flex potential. I do think Kuzumo is very, very good right now. Just does so much damage for seemingly no reason. Loves those Pridwing glyphs, loves Sunder being a meta, wants to get in your face and just make you have a bad time. Along with getting upgrade this Hachiman, we're asking for an upgrade from the X-Ball. Hachiman certainly will fit that bill. Interestingly to me, Jester's not that worried about the Zhonghui, willing to let that one go through again. We'll be curious to see if Emoticon Father goes towards that or goes towards the Baba Yaga. Seems to be his two go-to picks at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Baba Yaga might be the play here, though. What will be interesting with this Kuzubo, because like Kuzubo will get thorns, we'll have that reflect, and I can guarantee you Kuzubo will more than happily just kind of sit there in when Baba Yaga goes into her house and be like, all right, I'll eat this damage, so all of it you want out of me. So maybe he's gonna flex some more of a traditional mage here, but I mean, more likely he's gonna hold and kind of see what gets rounded out in this jungle and solo slot more than likely, because I feel like I'm calling it out. The Kuzenbo's going support. All right. So I think he's gonna wait this time, right? He's not gonna kind of flex into that pick because Kuzenbo is a really oppressive character into a lot of mages. So I think he's gonna hold his pick, and then we'll probably pick a more traditional mage. Maybe we'll see like a Merlin out of him or something like that. Though Kuzenbo does frag in a Merlin too.
Kuzumo good into a lot of things. Is going to be the Rama picked up here for the Tanukis. Want to make sure that Spirit was on something that can at least hold its own in the lane versus the Hajiman. Should be a-okay there. And the Atlas, not a pick that we've seen a ton of. I mean, you see a lot in ranks just because of how much damage the character does. I assume it's getting picked up here for the knock-up against the Kuzenbo. Able to mess up that passive there for the Kuzenbo where he loses all those mitigations with Palm being knocked up. But instead, it's the Baba Yaga for Kenny this time. Not wanting to be the only person, not wanting Emoticon Father to be the only person that gets to play a tanky mage this game. Going to get the Baba Yaga for himself here. And then immediately ban away the Zhonghui.
Yo, is there someone new doing the picks and bans or RJ? Why did they go from one of the worst comps I've ever seen last game, in my personal opinion, to like now a stacker? Kuzenbo, uh, basically at least at the SPL level, was getting picked or banned. I feel like almost every single game, or at least in the SEC end of things, right? Hachiman again, another top tier pick, and then Baba Yaga too, just one of those top tier mages, right? I think she's probably like a top 4 best mage right now. I'm trying to think of other mages that are really good. Merlin, still you have the Disco now. Then there's her, and then honestly, other than that, like I feel like a lot of the mages is kind of average at best, right? So just 3 all around well picks. You were talking last game how the Flaming Tanukis had top picks in almost every single role in their top 3. Well, now RJ just comes right back around and does it themselves.
Absolutely. Love the adjustments too. Take away the Zonkui. Take away the Kleena as well. Just make Squishy play something else. He's played so much of that Kleena recently. Just make him play something else. On the same token, is going to be a Cullen for the solo lane. A comfort pick for nearly every solo laner, if we're being real. That character has just been good for the longest time. Is he the best solo laner? No. But is he good? Does he generate presence in lane? And does he have a good engage to, kind of make up for the weaknesses of Kuzenbo? Absolutely. I like the Kakulin pick here.
Yeah, Kakulin really good, right? Like you said, has the pressure in laning phase. Can still get active in the late game and solo a lot of people. Doesn't really need to Sunder in order to do that. I feel like that's one of the few solo laners that doesn't need to build Sunder to be able to solo a backliner. But a Wheelix getting locked in. That's interesting. I guess they're just going to be looking to play. Oh, actually, wait. Where's this Odin going? Is that Achilles jungle?
It's going to jungle,
no,
man.
Odin jungle. That's terrible.
Odin jungle coming out for Squishy, going to be that triple frontliner style of composition. Protect the Merlin is the name of the game if you are the Flaming Tanukis. A Wheelix, a comfort pick for Burger Boy, not something that's particularly meta right now. Is very good into the Odin. That's gonna be an interesting matchup to watch the whole game. I mean, Odin obviously does a lot of damage early. A Wheelix, of course, does even more damage early. Both kind of fall off late game outside of their ultimates. So, I mean, oddly, kind of similar jungle picks in a way.
Yeah, both very similar. Very high early pressure, big damage, easy gank potential from the two of them. And then once it gets to that late game, it's just what ultimate is going to be more impactful? I will say a Wheelix is going to have a pretty easy time in this game getting pulls. Has the Kuzenbo ult for knockup. Has the Kakulin blink ult. Though you got to be a little bit more coordinated. And with how these games have been going, I don't know if coordination is on the mark for either team here. But I mean. You do have the blink ult out of that. Yeah, you even have Baba Yaga that can knock somebody up, right? So you have a decent amount of opportunities to get these ultimates off in the late game without really putting yourself at risk.
No. If Burger Boy pulls somebody off of Baba Yaga ult knockup, I will lose my mind because you never see that. It would be absolutely hilarious.
It'd be hilarious. Real quick though, I would just like to say that Emoticon Father does not know ball. That is the worst. That he went with the Slayer cape, right, on the Merlin skin there, which is fine. It's that's not a bad cape. But how are you not going the fire cape every time? I don't know if you're a big RuneScape guy, but the fire cape is just what you go every time, bro. If you're not going that, you just don't really know ball.
I agree. See, my counterpoint here is, why are you not playing SK Merlin?
No, because the RuneScape skins are just cool, dude. What do you mean?
Dude, that SK skin, easy top 5 skin in the game for me. I absolutely love that skin. The voice pack, great. The animations, great.
Yo, Conduit Gem Merlin though, that is relatively interesting. A lot of times you see those Sands of Time. Merlin really likes to have that extra mana sustain with the Sands of Time that it gives with giving that MP5 on missing mana, and then also just that early 10% cooldown. I mean, he's more likely going to go into a Chronos Pendant. So overall, after about, I'd say like the 5-6 minute mark, we'll have about the same cooldown as if he did go Sands. But interesting to see, Conduit over Sands.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I mean, it makes it a little bit harder to build all of that percent pen and the proccing items that you usually want. Do you imagine that there won't be an E-Staff in the build for this Merlin, likely just that Reaper, which, should be okay, but that E-Staff is rather nice with trying to kill a Kuzenbo and a Kakulin. Taking a look at starters is the opposite this time. See Warflag coming out from Jehu on this Kuzenbo, whereas the Watchers coming out from the Atlas. A little bit of a role swappage here. Why do you think we see the different starters here, or the swapped starters here?
I'm gonna be honest. I thought this game they would just both go War Flag and just try to run them down, especially Hydra. Like why as Atlas you want to run it down, right? You want to get on the back line. You want to hit those big ults. You want to pull people in, prot shred them. So interesting to see him go for the Sentinels. Maybe he wants to be a little tankier when he is diving this early to mid game. Oh, and Emoticon solos kill cam Kenny. Again, that's the second time now that he...
Not a solo. But it is the first blood going to Kenny. Yeah, didn't really catch what happened there. I mean, it is a blink out of Squishy, so perhaps just caught him a little bit off guard, but I don't, like, what does Blink Odin actually do in the lane? I don't know, but apparently it gets first blood, or gets first blood for his mid laner, at least. Curious turn of events, but once again, Emoticon Father going to get a good start off to this game. Now, Kenny did bounce back rather nicely in the last game. Took him a little while to get back to even. Did get there. Now to scrap over this prop buff. Looks like the Kuzumbo is going to push back this Atlas, but prop buff just going to go the way of Tanukis. Don't think Burger Boy's going to get here in time. Isn't. Now that is first blood and the prop buff going the way of Tanukis. A good start.
Yeah, it almost looks like the Flaming Tanukis just are like a better early, like they know how to play the early game better than the Jesters, right? They're better in these early wave fighting and management. They're just better like all around in the early game though. What as I say this right now, a potential troll there by Emoticon Father, but instead flickering back after wasting his beads there. But I mean, another thing too that I saw in this boost
that's not a wasted beads.
Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah, he did get knocked out. All right. But anyway, he didn't need to use it. You didn't need to lose the beads, man.
All right, if I'm a Emoticon Father there, I'm beating that as well. I think you're trolling to not beat it.
Guys, I mean, Baba Yaga wasn't there. Baba Yaga wasn't there, man.
She was close. Merlin beads are down, regardless of whether they needed to be or not. They were used. Blue buff going to get looked at here. The Feather Step is going to not secure it. Actually, not entirely sure what confirmed that there for Tanukis. We're able to defend it there. Blue buff. Burger Boy trying to get active on this Wheelix, forces some beads, looks at an invade, and neither going to get a whole lot of value right now. Getting the beads does give him some options for this Merlin, a character that doesn't have a great time getting away from Wheelix. Not a whole lot of mobility options. Kuzumbo dash, going a little circle around him. We all love drifting on the turtle.
Yeah, just took a little draft. That was almost like kind of like the Sun Wukong when he goes to the tiger form and he's kind of like, you just kind of go, just skirts right by you and you're just like, oh, okay, that happened. I mean, but real quick, but the one starter that we weren't talking about that we see a bluestone on Odin. I mean, surely he's gonna have no clear and he's gonna be poked out relatively easily whenever he's trying to do these back camps. As you're saying that he's yellow HP to a back camp right now.
Yeah, yellow HP also. I assume that's gonna be a Runeforged first item coming out of the jungle.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. I don't know what else it would be. It's not going down.
I don't know. I mean, surely it goes Frostbound. I don't know if I don't believe they build out of the same tree. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't built either of those items in ages.
No, they do.
I know Runeforge is meta. I just haven't played characters that build Runeforge. But regardless of what it is Runeforge. Sorry, he's answered a question. An interesting jungle pickup. I mean, is the HP5 and MP5 maybe helping make up for the fact that you didn't get a jungle starter? But it's not a lot of power in that first slot.
Yeah, not a lot of power, but the passive does increase the amount of damage you do. So what he's lacking in power, the passive is a relatively big thing with Odin there. We'll be able to proc it on that stun and then maybe bird bomb in afterwards for that big damage confirm. And then when he upgrades that, surely he's gonna upgrade that one on the glyph. He can upgrade that to a multitude of different things to do a lot of damage. And look, trying to get active with that Runeforge, but Cullen had his jump up. I don't know if I don't know if the comms were a little cluttered there or whatnot, but
Gotta be a miscommunication here.
yeah.
I mean, the
Surely-
blink was expended there too, so that had to be a miscommunication. I'm surely this guy's jump is down, but as is Eon going to get out of there. A-OK does have that glad shield done already. Should be feeling pretty tanky. Mid laners just hanging out, do have that little half-level lead for Emoticon Father still as a result of that first blood coming through. Is the Charon's coin first item again for Kenny? Still like this build, still think it's pretty good. And then is that Chronos Pendant and the Conduit from the Merlin. Don't really know what else it could have been, but it definitely is.
If he went Karen's coin too, I would have been questioning. I don't know though. I don't know if I like going Karen's first. I mean, he is gonna be able to stack it fast with the Baba Yaga passive, but I want the cloak, right? I want to get those cloak stacks online too. So is he gonna go like? Is he gonna go Deso straight into cloak next, and then is the Karen's coin gonna be stacked in time, right? That's like kind of what I'm wondering, if that Karen's coin is going to be able to get stacked before he gets the cloak online, because I feel like Baba Yaga is really good right now because of the amount of tankiness that she does bring.
Good dodge there coming out of the Rama. Should be okay here, weaving through the auto attacks there. Now it looks like the attempt's going to be onto Hydra here, picks up Baba Yaga, going to get that jump off. Merlin playing without fear on tower line. A little bit of some attempted scrapping both in the dual lane and the mid lane. Is it Transcendence coming out from Burger Boy? Item that has fallen out of favor a little bit. Have been seeing more of those Jotuns rushes out of the jungle. Slower build on the Olympus. Is that something you like to see out of what's normally regarded as a pretty early game focused character?
Yeah. As you said, right? Like, both of these gods are more early game centric, and then their late game is a little more rough. They basically turn into old bots if the team is coordinated and plays in a 5v5 type of setting there. I don't like the Transcendence at all. I think it's gonna take too long. As we see, Odin missing his ultimate. Good job, Squishy.
Come on, man. He just hops away like he didn't split a wave and misses blink off.
Oh, Squishy. Someone's gotta clip that. Yeah.
Please, someone clip it.
Send it to me. I'll put it in the highlights for the Flaming Tanukis.
Oh yeah, that's a big highlight play right there. Your org owner missing the blink ult. Blink in from the Wheelix. That one does connect. Merlin hangs on to his beats, just not that much damage coming out yet of the Wheelix. That Transcendence is not stacked. No flat pen yet either, so Emoticon says, Father says, cool, you blinked on me, you feather stepped? What's next, guys?
Yeah, I do not like this Transcendence at all. I don't really know what he's thinking, and now he may pay the price as Hydra with the cutoff there, though. Big damage coming through. Red team is on the front foot in this fight with the Baba Yaga house coming through. Bang, bang, boom, fire coming down, but HP bars are low on both sides, but not enough damage to get any kills. Cullen, big ultimate there onto 3, and Def Movement executes Ian Eyes.
Neon trying to get something done there. Blue buff doesn't look like it was confirmed either. Now the Merlin getting a kill on to... Sorry, Discord is fucking out on me.
Yeah. So, you know, we have a little bit of technical difficulties. Yeah, he killed the mid laner there. He killed Mr. Killcam Kenny.
Mr. Killcam Kenny. All right, somebody went down. That's all that matters. Is an early 2 kills for this Merlin, going to be 2 levels up in the mid lane. No other real leads to speak of. Burger Boy does have a small lead over Squishy. Hasn't had the greatest time finding those ganks. Does have 3 assists to his name, so has been involved in every kill. But hasn't been able to farm as much, maybe because he doesn't have a jungle starter. But not terribly far behind.
That jungle starter has to feel that jungle starter has to feel terrible in Odin, right? I mean, Bluestone, you like, it's not what it used to be, right? You don't have as much sustain because you're not dealing as much damage to those camps. So those camps are actually doing a decent amount of damage. And there's now three harpies instead of 2 on each side camp. So it's just very hard for him to solo a lot of farm with that Bluestone. Finally, he hits an ultimate.
Winkle is good to dash in aggressive from Upgrade, trying to trade out here. The Rama is up. Snipes are not needed. Squishy gets it done himself. Burger Boy trying to find this on the Spirited Book does, but now can he get out from the Odin? Jumps the 3. Good patience there by Burger Boy. Blinks the Bird Bomb. Should be okay. Well done by Burger Boy to juke out all of the CC there. Kuzenbo all used defensively, just trying to make sure his team secures the green buff, and will do so. Kenny able to pick up some farm while it's happening, does cut this lead back down to a level, was sitting at closer to 2. Squishy menacingly comes through, spears that Bastion, just trying to spook some people. And,
yeah, he's showing his dominance. Yo, real quick though, if I'm upgrade only, I'm yelling at Burger Boy. Upgrade only almost solos a Spirited Book in a 2v1, and you know what Burger Boy did the second he saw that Odin cage? See you later, Upgrade only. Jumps out of the Odin cage, leaving his ADC to die.
No, little troll. The kill Spirited Book, a great Awilix on the first one. We've seen pulls back Hydra. Surely he dies here. Does fall down. Unfortunately, Jehu getting credit there. Home Sweet Home was doing quite a bit of damage, but did not get that last bit of damage coming out. And now we're taking a look at Beacon about to spawn in here. It looks like Tanukis are in control, but that's just a solo kill from Upgrade only onto the Rama, getting it done over in the dual lane. Now, will he rotate for the Beacon?
Yeah, he didn't rotate last time. This exact scenario happened last time and he didn't rotate. I mean, it doesn't look like he's going to do it again. On the prot buff, and blue team secures it again. I'm pretty sure blue team has gotten every single beacon in the last 2 games. I at least like this, right? He's going to be able to push this tower, do a decent amount of damage to it. No one is on that side of the map really to defend Odin at those mid camps. But I mean, this is also kind of the issue, right? You've been seeing these Aussie builds kind of come in, right? These Aussie builds to get this earlier power spike, but then the problem is, once they finish their Devo stacks, now you're behind in the power curve. And Upgrade only has the full stacks of the Devos, had that Executioner, and just was able to outtrade DPS on this against Spirited Book.
Yeah, through the Aussie passive too. You know, didn't really see what happened over there, but not even particularly close, honestly. So a little miscalculation there by the Rama. They said weren't able to see exactly what happened there, but Upgrade is going to get a fair lead off of that. Is a full level up now, sitting on that T2 as well. Full T2 over the Rama, it looks like. Now, Upgrade trying to get aggressive here. Zoning away, just using those Eagle Eye autos do so much damage. I mean, Hachi so hard to box and lane. Rama goes into the sky. There is 3 Jesters here. Cancels the ultimate quickly. Is just going to get run down by Burger Boy. The Jesters sent the entire squad over to this duo lane. And I mean, there's nothing for Tanukis to really take while that happens.
Yeah, I mean, Pyromancer, is Pyromancer up? I can't even see. It's not up. It's not up. It's
not up.
It's down. Yeah. I'm
having a friend.
I'm having to battle the demons right now with Discord as I am seeing pixels and frames on my screen. And
no way.
Pixels
please.
are
All right, you got him.
Oh, talking about pixels. Hydra's HP relatively low there right before he falls. Was that a blink in by the Odin? No, he didn't blink in. He's kind of walking.
Not a blink in. The cage is good. I believe Awilix does still have that jump. Who doesn't have a jump is Jehu, but he is a tanky turtle. Does not care. Is going to be okay. Merlin looking at the turtle. Poor Kuzenbo running for his life. Does get stunned out by the Odin. Not too much they can do to help him here. Team not going to step up and help their support. Probably for the better. Depp, Mufin, and Ian slapping each other again, but now just on a different part of the map, have made their way to the Gold Fury. Perhaps good knock up there from a Wheelix, but good recognition by the Moticon Fathers that a Wheelix ult was not quite up yet. Doesn't panic, beats the knock up. The blink in from Kakolan going to get a lot done. It looks like a Moticon Father is the target, but he's returning a lot of damage. The Rune Forge proc right in the middle of the fight. Great timing. It looks like Upgrade going to be the first one to fall. Followed by Ionize, Step moving, getting another one. Executes coming in, looking at Jehu, who's trying to get in here to try and stop this Gold Fury. The Atlas ult comes out to help burn. The Gold Fury is going to fall down for Tanukis after a very scrappy jungle fight.
Yeah, I mean, if the Royal Jesters just kind of stop, you know, one person almost dying before the fight even starts, Wheelix just decides, you know what, I'm gonna step into an Achilles and Hydra and then lose all my HP, almost die, have to jump or beats and then jump away just to barely survive. And then after that, the Royal Jesters decide, oh, it's a 4v5. Yeah, let's go in and fight now. So I mean, really, if the Jesters just kind of clean up this more little iffy play, like maybe a little sloppier play on their side, right? They kind of clean this up. I mean, they have amazing team fights. They have both backliners that are very safe, very hard to dive and kill, right? This Baba Yaga and this Hachiman, and then their dive is insane, right? Kuzenbo didn't opt for that blink though, opted for Sunder, so doesn't even have Thorns, which, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I think that's the only reason why you're picking Kuzenbo is to have Thorns, but you know.
I like the Sunder. I think I would have rather preferred to see him get the Sunder here. That item is so good.
Yeah, no, Sunder is very good, right? I was thinking you were maybe going to see a Sunder and a Thorns get picked up by this Kuzenbo. I'm pretty sure if Kuzenbo just Sunders Merlin and then Merlin void stances him and he pops his Thorns and his 2, Merlin dies. I'm not even kidding when I say that. Merlin will die to a Sunder and just using a void 1 on this Kuzenbo level. But instead, opting for more of that traditional support type of starter there with the shell, and actually has it fully upgraded. I mean, it does make sense for the shell, right? He does need that for the Odin cage, which is getting used and open execute.
The Odin cage just deleting Jehu did a good job of buying space off that Pyromancer. But now the Atlas ult comes out. Ionize dropping low as well. Pyromancer should get picked back up. It has been picked up here by Spirit and Book. Going to fall down to the Tanukis. Kenny able to pick up a Moticon Father. A good return kill gun. Overstepping just a little bit, though. Burger Boy overstepping as well. Does fall down to Smooshy. Upgrade only takes the horse in, wants to kill the jungler and will. Kenny falling down as well, but Pyromancer went into 2 for 2 outside of that, and now Beacon getting looked at as well. Health bars, not too healthy on the side of this Atlas. Everyone else should be good to go. Jesters are going to gain initial control of this. It doesn't look like Tanukis are going to defend it, so
is that an RJ first one? Let's go!
They finally got a beacon, man.
I'm so proud of them. They grow up so fast. First beacon secured for the Royal Jesters, and look at them. They're like, hey, we got increased structure damage. Let's push this mid tower down.
Look at the mid tower. Good pullback by the Merlin. Upgrade forced to beat there. Does get out, but paying for that. Looking at that structure. Moticon Father doing a good job getting the relics there out of the ADC upgrade. Perhaps feeling himself just a little bit too much after that, you know, killed Steph, he soloed Spirit, you know, feeling himself, and Moticon Father said, calm down, yeah, you're still a hunter, and I'm still playing Merlin. Please get off my tower.
I mean, he also got his Aegis used there too, I think. So both actives down on the side of the Hachiman there. So I mean, this is terrible, right? Gold Fury's about to spawn now, and now they can. That's a target they can look to take advantage of here. Speaking of targets, they're looking to target this Odin here. This prop up.
Yeah, prop up the cage coming out, but Odin in trouble. Uses it defensively to jump in from Burger Boy. Can he find the auto? The Spirit stepping shield from Odin. The beats used by Burger Boy. He wants this kill. Does he have the jump? Gets up onto Suku. Now Spirited Booker able to turn one back around to upgrade. Snipes come out and are good. Burger Boy falls down. Kenny does finally get the kill. Baba Yaga into that home sweet home borderline defensively. Does save it from at least being a total disaster there, but the Odin shield, just the perfect timing there, immune to most of that feather step damage. Gotta feel horrible for Burger Boy.
Yeah, I mean, okay, again. If I'm upgrade only, I'm telling Burger Boy, stay away from the Proud Buff. We're not fighting around this thing anymore. That is 2 times now. Burger Boy jumps away from upgrade only. Odin 1 HP hunting for the kill, ends up not even getting it. And then meanwhile, upgrade only with neither active is forced into a terrible fight with the support and Spirited Book there. Yeah, the Brahma there. Spirited Book there to be able to pick up the kill on him. I mean, both actives down and you're abandoning your hunter. That has to feel terrible. The kills did get traded out though, even 2v2, so not really much loss for the side of Royal Jesters. And now the hunter is gonna have both of his actives back up. So I mean, you know, he did die. Is gonna not gonna get in on some of those wave farms, but I mean, both actives up. So surely now this Hachiman's gonna be able to cook in this next team fight.
Should be cooking. The Prophetic Cook was picked up by Kenny. Only 15 stacks so far. Still needs some work to get full benefit from that item. Good use of the 3, immuning the knockup there from the Atlas. Kuzubo trying to find a little bit of poke. It does find a little bit of poke onto Squishy here, but Gold Fury is back up. Pyromancer spawning shortly. Both of these objectives, I mean, we're 22 minutes in. Both of them definitely can be looked at here by teams. Who do you think is going to start looking for this Gold Fury?
I feel like almost every single fight has been initiated off of the back of the Flaming Tanukis starting them. I mean, and it makes kind of sense, right? This Kuzenbo doesn't have blink, like I said, so he can't really get active. And Awilix is starting to get to that point, right, where she's just an ult bot, right? So really the only true engage they have is this Kakullen, right? So it makes sense that they kind of want to let the Flaming Tanuki start on these team fights, but every time the Flaming Tanuki start, they end up winning the team fights, and they end up winning them relatively convincingly, besides for these last couple ones that have been more scrappier. But I mean, I definitely think this Kuzubo needs to be able to, he needs to do one of two things. Either make this Achilles not be able to get onto the back line, just kind of kite him away as long as possible, or he needs to find a way to get onto this Merlin and Rama.
Agreed. Needs to find a way onto, especially the Merlin. I think just doing so much damage. I mean, it's Merlin in the mid game. He's got 4 items. He is absolutely chunking. I was trying to figure out why it looks like Jehu is so far behind. Hydra has not upgraded his relics yet. So if I'm Jesters, I mean, I know, this game's pretty much even. You have an early game of Wheelix that's really probably at its peak of usefulness right now. I mean, I don't think the game gets a whole lot better for a Wheelix as we go. And you've got a support that doesn't have upgraded relics at 23 minutes, which just seems like a mistake at this level of play, but it is the Cage again, getting the part started. Jehu is going to use that Phantom Shell to get himself out, and that is a big resource down. Looks like Gold Fear going to be pulled as a result. Jehu had to take a trip back to base. Now the blink in, it looks like Mufin once again harassing that backline, doing so much damage without Sundering Spear procs. Or not Sundering Spear, the Sundering Axe, excuse me. That one.
Surely this is a fight the Jesters want to take though. 2 ultimates down on the side of the Flaming Tanukis. They have to get active here.
I agree, have to get active, but who is going to be the person that gets in and gets it started? I think it would be Kakullen with that Blink ultimate is available. Doesn't have his upgraded starter yet, whereas Rufin does. Perhaps something that's trying to scaring them here. Rama ult now used as well. A lot of resources being used. Looks like they're just driving them back to try and get this beacon. Is 4 members of Tanuki's going to be hanging out. Getting that beacon is going to be a 2-1 beacon favor for the the side of Tanukis. And now, Titans, looks like they have decided that mid lane is where the Titans will go. It's always interesting when Titans go down mid because it's close enough to the objectives that you feel like you can't really sneak an objective, but it's also like it's borderline on whether you can do an objective. What happened to Burger Boy? Why is he 1 HP?
Yeah,
Let's get out there.
Maybe to kill a Sunder into a stun, that it does a lot of damage. The Sunder alone does 1,000 damage if it hits, so more than likely that was kind of the combo there. But I mean, am I reading the numbers wrong here, right? Or is like RJ down like 12, 13k? Why when 3, 4 ultimates are used and expended, are they not trying to step up and take a big team fight?
They're down 2k. You definitely need glasses, not 12k. Speaking of people getting erased, Jehu absolutely erased. Now Ionized in the backline, creating a lot of space, but what can his team do about it as he is getting melted by the backline? Kenny does pick up a kill onto the support, but it is a 2-for-1 for the Tanukis right now. The health bars are starting to get low. Emoticon Father very low. Can somebody find him? Upgrade does find him, but falls down to Spirited Book. ADCs are left clicking to the maximum. Kenny forced to jump out, ran out of buttons. Ionize jumps back in. The execute misses 1 HP, but Spirited Book is still there. Kenny trying to live here. Does get the jump, but Odin has that spear. Jump in, good juke from Kenny. Spirited Book has 1 HP hitting these Titans. Is Odin going to be able to get this? Is it going to be able to? Sloppy fights there, but I think it comes out favoring Tanukis.
Yeah. Tanukis won that. I think it was like a 4-for-1, maybe 2 trade. I don't know. The fights were so long that I don't even know who respawned, how long that fight went. But
Exactly.
I mean, this is kind of the issue with Kuzma. This is what I was saying. I really wanted him to go Blink, right? Is the only engage is Eon, right? Surely if you're blinking in and hitting a 4-man Kukulkan ult, you're thinking, I'm winning this team fight, right? He blinks in, 4-man ult, no follow-up, 0 follow-up. The only follow-up was a Hachiman ult coming in on the backside there. I mean, it just feels rough for Eon, right? He doesn't really have a clear way of getting in and setting up for his team at all. The Awilix not feeling any presence in this game, right? You would think is going to be able to ult off of that knockup from the Kukulkan, but was way too far back, and the blink, the separation that the blink created just wasn't there to be able to pull anybody. I mean, like their team comp really isn't meant to pull a tank and then shred them, but that's almost how they're trying to play this style right now.
Yeah, I agree. A little bit of a struggle team comp wise on these final fights. I do have to notice this here. We have an alternate timeline in this game. We do. Mr. Killcam Kenny has opted for the alternate timeline. He's going to be a tanky Baba Yaga. Got the alternate timeline prots, has the Pathetic Cloak prots, has that Ethereal Staff. He's going to be tanky, but is lacking a lot of that CDR, only 20%. Not going to be getting that last couple percent.
You got 30.
Oh yeah, Pathetic gives you 10. I forgot Pathetic gives you 10. Not too bad in that sense. It's going to be a Reaver in the last sense. So just relying on that rocking item damage. Not going to have quite as much power in the build as Merlin will. You see that Gem of Focus picked up from the Merlin. Another one of those. It would be weird if it was anything else, but you never know when somebody gets spicy. It's just like, oh, what if I buy what's that? Archmage's Gem? That's the name of the other one? It's been so long since I've built that item that I literally do not remember the name.
Yeah, I think it's
Archmage's Gem, right?
Or Archmage's Gem? Yeah, I think so. I don't know, yeah. Nobody builds that item. There's no way. If he's building it, he deserves to lose this game.
It is Archmage's Gem.
Archmage's Gem. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no. You definitely go.
Total confidence. Gold Fury. not quite eliminated. A little bit of a weird pull here from Tanukis. It's getting low. Looks like it's eventually dropped. Killcam Kenny in the back line. Found his way into the back with the home sweet home. And now the collapse onto the Tanukis. There are Jesters on both sides. But can they find the kills here? Upgrade does finally get the party started. Kills the Hydra. Squishy is the next one down. Upgrade running rampant in these fights. Merlin running for his life as well. And now it looks like Fire Giant might be the call, maybe a pit stop for the T1 in mid. Let's see where they go after this. I'm going to keep pushing for now. I mean, if you're not doing the gold triggers, I assume they're going to fire. A little bit of a hesitation there. Do have 20 seconds before Hydra is back up and another 30 or so before Squishy is up. So do pick up that Pyromancer, but I don't think they're going to be able to do fire here. I mean, get a T1, get a Pyromancer. I mean, it is a step in the right direction. You did short up that gold lead a little bit, got a couple thousand of it back. I'm not sure that's quite as much as the Jesters were hoping they would get off that fight.
Yeah, I don't know if they should have went straight for the T1 tower. They let Achilles back and walk all the way back for lane. Surely you just go, okay, we can get this T1 tower after we get Fire Giant. That's gonna be EFG, and then loop around and take the T1 tower in like 2 seconds, right? But instead, doing the reverse. Got the mid T1, got the Pyromancer. They were relatively low, so maybe they were thinking, hey, we're not strong enough, and if this Merlin and this Achilles do end up showing up, they might be able to steal this Fire Giant or kill a couple. So maybe playing it more on the safer side there. But now we're gonna get the infamous 15-minute Fire Giant dance where people are gonna kill 1 or 2 of each side, and then everyone's gonna reset.
Does the alternate timeline come in clutch?
Yeah, I think it does. Does it stop Achilles execute?
That is a great question.
I've never seen that interaction before. I've never seen that interaction ever.
I guess as it does.
Yeah, I feel like it does because you
like,
die
you
and
just,
then you come
hey,
back.
then you come back. But I'm not a big timeline builder myself, so I don't think I've ever seen that interaction either. It's kind of like I know there's a weird interaction with Achilles ult and Kuma passive, but I could not remember which way it goes. Burger Boy trying to find Squishy, takes an aggressive jump in, might end up paying for it. Is going to get out, it looks like. Kuzubo causing mayhem in the backside. What is even happening in this fight? So many low health bars. Burger Boy low, Kenny low, Squishy was low, Motokai Father was low, and absolutely nobody is going to die.
Yeah, so you got a Baba Yaga dive in with the Kakulin. See, that's how bad the dive is getting here for the Jesters. They're sending in the Baba Yaga. Like, you get in there and do something now. You get in there and do something now. Burger Boy, that's kind of what happens when you're playing a Wheelix late game, right? You jump in and you're like, wait a second, I'm dead now. Luckily, Rama missed a snipe, so was able to get out alive there. I mean, I don't know. I feel like RJ, if this Kuzubo just went blink, this comp would be so much easier to execute, right? Just so much easier. But I mean, hey, they're going to have to kind of play with the hand that they're dealt, right? Kuzubo did buy a lot of time in that last one, kind of zoning off that Achilles. As I said, he's probably going to just kind of shift to a secondary backline, or basically a traditional support role of just peeling for his backline, though. I don't know if that's what you want to do as a Kuzubo.
Not necessarily. I mean, I do think you're picking the Kuzumo to try and, obviously want that damage coming out of the pick. It is a very aggressive support pick. Fire Giant Dance. I mean, a Wheelix pushing up those mid waves. I wouldn't hate to see a Wheelix try and almost split push here. I mean, I imagine that Wheelix wins that 1v1 versus Odin. It's a Stone of Gaia off the Odin, which is kind of a sneaky Gaia pick. The Cage Force defensively, Home Sweet Home used while inside the Odin ult. Not going to have the range that Kenny maybe thinks it does, but does do a lot of damage to the tanks of Tanukis. Will Jester be able to capitalize off this? A lot of damage done there off the kind of botched engagement by Squishy. Looks like mid T2 could be the call here. I actually like this. I think Fire Giant's just so hard to do right now. Just get some towers and get stuff off the map so that when you win that one big fight, you can just run it down and end the game.
Yeah, that was actually the correct call there, right? They're way too low to pull Fire Giant there. The Tanukis would be able to just kind of run back in there and defend pretty relatively easily. So I like the T2, as you were saying, right? Gives them that opportunity to where if they win this next crucial team fight, they can just walk down mid and end this game.
Absolutely. One step closer to winning. There is still two tier 2 towers left on the side of Tanukis. There's 4 towers still up for Jesters. So, I mean, really, even if a team wipes here, I don't know if the game ends with so many towers up. A good Kuzubo out there to come out and save his life. Motocon's father picks up Burger Boy, but Kenny returns it, trading out mid for jungle. Spirited Book takes out Ionize. 2 dead for the side of the Jesters. They jump in for Scrooshy, trying to find a little bit more. Kenny and Upgrade trying to live here. The execute does connect, a beautiful execute there onto Kenny from movement. He wants more, is going to get Upgrade as well. The Achilles late game has arrived and he is unstoppable on this Achilles pick right now.
I think that might be the ball game. Oh, by the way,
There's
we
so
learned
many
that.
towers up.
Maybe. I don't know, man. But oh yeah, there's some, and they're too low. Yeah, never mind. But also, we've now learned alternate timeline doesn't save you. He got executed.
What a tragedy. Honestly, probably upsetting to Kenny, because I assume he bought that thinking that it would
yeah,
work.
he survives it. Yeah, that's what I'd assume. I mean, honestly, I've never seen the interaction. Now we know. So you die to execute. So terrible item pickup, Kenny. Don't know why you picked it up. You're trolling. So yeah, did eat the execute straight to the dome, and didn't get revived. That's kind of odd because in the passive it literally says you die and then come back. Or yeah, whatever that says. I'm gonna be honest, we can't read it.
Yeah, no, not even close. My favorite current thing about the Discord stream quality right now is that the blue Pridwin really looks like when the old like mana buff used to look like, that like blue potion type of icon. I found that very entertaining this game. Oh
yeah. I can't even tell you what the Willix build. I think that's Jotuns into Hydras, and then what is that?
Blood Force Magi's.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going with. Fire Giant is throwing out some stuff. Nope, that's just Kenny. Fire Giant is now picked up for real. I promise. I can see what's happening.
I like just Willix. He's gonna get this mid bird. They haven't backed yet.
Yeah, Willix is pushing. I don't think anyone's back. The Blink Cage from Scrooshy is in. A big knockup on the back of Ionize is going to fall down for it, but probably save the life of his teammates as long as they get out here. Jehu getting low. Home Sweet Home used defensively, just needs one more tick of damage onto Scrooshy, but Emoticon Father is going to find Upgrade only instead. And now Jehu falling as well. Kenny does return one. Spirited Book has half an HP. Burger Boy tried to get the back off there, isn't going to be able to. Now running from his life from an Atlas. I have no idea if he's faster than Atlas. Looks like he is.
He's gonna jump the wall.
I mean, jumps the wall. Doesn't look like anyone else is going to try and catch him here. Kenny does kill Emoticon Father. Is certainly dead for. Oh my goodness, timeline.
Oh, the timeline did.
No way. No way. Kenny, run. Run, Kenny, run. Nope.
Run,
right.
run, my child, run. So Awilix tried to end the game there, and then solo tanked the Titan and did no damage to it. Just instantly got it back up. I liked what they did though, right? Awilix did that split push. Nobody went back to defend it, so basically got that for free. Though Fire Giant may fall now, but no, Eon and the jungler up, so they will be able to at least contest it. And give them a little bit of a nuisance there. I like that split push from the Awilix, right? Gets the mid bird. What I didn't like is, for whatever reason, Royal Jesters almost looked like they were trying to take the 4v5 fight. I would have liked them to just fully decommit, right? You see the Rama dashing in, you see the Merlin right in front of you too. You know that, hey, they're not on Fire Giant anymore. Let's just get out, let our jungler get a free Phoenix and then reset.
Yeah, it seems like they tried to hold their ground there a little bit too much. I mean, Home Sweet Home did find a lot of damage. Ended up being okay, said that Midbird did fall down and Fire Giant did not. I mean, Relics and ults used on both sides, so not too much of a concern there. Now they have a little bit of a window here. Well, Jesters, that Midbird is down for several minutes, but it's Tanukis that are going to pick up this Fire Giant. They don't care that their bird is down.
Yeah. I mean, still a pretty smart choice, right? You have at least 3 to 4 waves that can push him before there's like big damage. And speaking of big damage, HP on the side of the Hunter is low.
Hunter Atlas comes out here. Looks like the chase is on. Dash in from Hydra does force the Baba Yaga ult out. Had no beads. The cage is good. Looks like Squishy going to jump out here. A lot of resources used. Be able to take a look at the player damage again here. Here's where everything is ended.
Yeah, I guess we can tell where people are. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean everyone's level 20, so that screen I don't think, you know, unless suddenly there's a level like 25 unlocked in fight. But his upgrade sitting at the top of the player damage charts by a good margin, 15,000 damage over Baba Yaga, who has finally caught back up in the damage department. Fight is happening here at the Fire Giant. Squishy's almost killed by the Fire Giant itself. And now Jesters may be trying to push back out. Ionized finds a little bit with the ultimate, but doesn't want to commit to the dive here. Emoticon Father lurking in the jungle, throwing out the damage over the walls. Looks like it's gonna be, hear me out if you've heard this before, another full reset.
Well, I at this point, just don't even go for Fire Giants. Both of these teams should just like siege, right? Like, because neither of them can actually pull an objective and complete it in the late game, apparently, right? As we've seen here, it hasn't happened in game 1, and it's not happening here in game 2. So instead, why not just start walking down towers, right? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? The other team gets Fire Giant?
Yeah, I've had some conversations with some, you know, pretty decent Smite players about whether just not doing Fire Giant is viable. Boy, is viable. Is the leading Burger Boy. Upgrade only very low as well. Looks like upgrade going to be okay, but I can't say the rest of the Jesters are going to be okay as well. Jehu sacking himself, pushing back, and Kenny doesn't want to let him die. Goes into this home, might end up costing his life as well. Does get the jump away. I was like, Ionize might be up, is going to jump away, trying to make sure his carries get out. Kenny chose to use Home Sweet Home there. Questionably should be game here. You do still need to kill a Phoenix. That is a requirement to ending a Smite game. You cannot kill it. The Titan. Phoenix does go down. Upgrade only is available. He has that. Kenny falls down to movement over on the left. Can upgrade only pull off the pentakill. Gets Odin caged and gets walked down. Does kill one. Should be the set here for the Flaming Tanukis.
Neither team. So both games ended the exact same way. A fight in mid lane that makes absolutely no sense while it's happening. And then Royal Jesters get disconnected, die, lose the game. I mean, that's poetic. I mean, honestly. Both games ending the exact same way.
Yeah, really heartbreakers for Jesters. I mean, really in both games for 45 minutes. He said just one fight at the end of the game where they disconnects the front line from the back line. Burger Boy and Upgrade get disconnected from the rest of the team. One of them dies, Upgrade gets forced back to base, and then it's just a series of the tanks essentially sacking themselves, trying to make sure they're back, that Kenny was able to at least get out, but not enough there to keep the Jesters' hopes alive.
Yeah, alright. So I'm also a believer in the Death Move and Achilles now. 8-0 and 13. Though, let me say this. If you're going Kuzenbo, please go Blink, man. Or have your jungler be something that's more proactive. If you're gonna go like that, it really hurt me to see a Kuzenbo solo ulting an Odin and an Achilles, and that was his big contribution to the team fight. It just really hurt to see that. I mean, I understand why he went to Shell, right? Needs it for that Odin cage, but surely then if that's the case, you just give the Kuzenbo over to solo lane, and then you draft more of a backliney support instead of this Kuzenbo, because playing Kuzenbo as a traditional support has to be one of the worst things in Smite.
Yeah, probably doesn't feel great. Agree. Probably could have used a better initiation out of jungle to go with that Wheelix that looked okay for the early game, but never really hit that explosive Wheelix just one-tapping everything point of the game. Uh, Obviously, late game struggled pretty mightily, but that is going to be it here from us tonight. This has been Halanu and Hunter Big Balls along with Penguin Pimp. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will catch you all next Sunday for some more Smite.
Bye bye.